Hi BookTube, it's Gina, and today I am here to do a little discussion about reading outside of my comfort zone. So I've been trying to challenge myself a little bit this month of April to read books that I would normally not pick up. I've got a romance, I've got a nonfiction, and so I'm trying this month to read outside of my comfort zone a little bit. And Michael K Vaughan, who is another booktuber who started his channel right around the same time that I did, was doing a video on horror. He's more of a horror reader than I am, and so I asked him what book would he recommend for an HP Lovecraft introduction, and he recommended The Call of Cthulhu. I will put Michael's channel down below. He's got, I think, 60 something videos. I think he's done a video every single day since he started his channel, which just blows my mind a little bit. But he's got a really great channel. So I asked him for an HP Lovecraft recommendation, and he gave me this. And he asked me for a Agatha Christie recommendation, since he doesn't usually read mystery. And so I recommended to him a Agatha Christie. I recommended The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, because that's one of my favorites. And I'll link his video review of that down below, because I think it's a lot of fun. And so I thought I would give this a try. So the first, the book that I purchased was this one, The Call of Cthulhu. Unfortunately, I think I ordered this off of Amazon, and I was on the Penguin edition, the Kindle version, but when I ordered the paper copy, they sent me this kind of printed by Amazon version, which did not have all of the stories that I wanted. So I bought this one, and then I actually ended up buying the Kindle version of the Penguin edition because I wanted to have the other stories that were in the Penguin edition. That was the actual one that he recommended. But I did read this, and the story that I started out on was At the Mountains of Madness. And that is a novella about a group of explorers that encounter something horrible. One thing I found in At the Mountains of Madness and in the story The Call of Cthulhu is there's definitely a similar theme to those two novellas of group of people bump into something terrifying, run away, and are traumatized for the rest of their lives. Theme. So that was interesting. I'm struggling a little bit with this because I've never read anything like it before, and I've never read horror. I've also not read a lot of short stories, and a lot of these are sort of in a story format. So At the Mountains of Madness was a novella, I would say. It is, let's see, it goes from page 17 to 109. So it's not quite 100 pages. But The Call of Cthulhu is only 30 pages, so it's definitely a story. And because I don't normally read stories, I think one challenge that I had with this was just about the time I kind of started to settle in, it would be over. And I was like, I got to start over again with a new story. So I think that was something I'd have to shift my brain a little bit. I also didn't really find these all that creepy or scary. I don't know that they're supposed to be scary, but I did accept them to be creepy. And I think I had a little bit of trouble settling into the creepiness because the language in this is so dense. I would read a few sentences and just be like, what have I just read? So I'm going to read you a sentence that sort of exemplifies a little bit of his language style, if it's something you're not familiar with, as I was not. And this is from The Mountains of Madness. They're heading on their voyage, this group. And it says, the last lap of the voyage was vivid and fancy-stirring. Great barren peaks of mystery loomed up constantly against the west, as the low northern sun of noon, or the still lower horizon grazing southern sun of midnight, poured its hazy reddish rays over the white snow, bluish ice, and water lanes, and black bits of exposed granite slope. And those sentences really bogged me down, I think because I'm not used to that density and that type of language. I did have a little bit of trouble settling into some of these. So overall, I'm going to continue because I've now got 2 books. I've got this one that's got a couple stories that I did not complete, and then I bought the Penguin edition on my Kindle. So I'm going to say overall this was a good reading experience. It was different than I was expecting. I was thinking I was going to be scared and they were going to be really horrifying. And I think they're horrifying in some ways, but I think because the language was a barrier to me, I didn't really feel the true horror. So I'm going to keep reading them. On the Penguin edition, there's some other stories that Mike recommended that I do want to read. So I'm going to continue with them. So that I can try and get the feel for it. But I did want to jump on and let you know that I've read this and that I am chugging my way through my month of reading outside of my comfort zone. And my first step was with horror, The Call of Cthulhu by HP Lovecraft. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.